Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here coming back at you with another video. Today we're going to be working on this bike right here, my 92 KE100 with the 94 metal and plastics. We got some stuff to do to it. We're going to do a first start on it. It hasn't started since last year when I put it away. So hopefully everything goes good with it and there's no issues. Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. Then we have, what do you call it, we gotta get cracking on this bike again because we gotta do all that electrical stuff. I found all my handle controls for this bike. We gotta heat up that back part, fix the tailbone, and get that done. And you can see I already have one bracket on right here for the rack, and which I'm not gonna be doing any more of that today, but I'm gonna show you guys where which way it's gonna be heading. So we get that, and I'm gonna show you some other stuff. All right, so we have the KD80 that's going to need a first start, so there'll be a video on that. The KM100, and of course, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this bike or not. It actually became a parts bike, and then I decided not to scrap it and to put it back together. This is the Kawasaki KE100, but I changed it to a Kawasaki KDE100. There is no electrical on this bike for lights or anything like that. It is simply the same bike, but a 100 as the KDE. So it's just on a KE 100 frame, 100 motor. It's basically just a stripped down version, an off-road version of the KE 100. But before we touch this one or the white one, we're going to be working on lucky number 13. Right there's lucky number 13. That bike right there belongs to Harvey Spooner. So we have the oil reservoir, we have the cover, we have the seat. We've got pretty much everything this bike's going to need. I got the cover for the other side. We're going to go through that bike, top to bottom, bottom to top, bumper to bumper, fix the brakes. There's no lever. It's missing a front brake lever, missing front brake cable. It's some of the stuff is not correct on it. We're going to correct it and make it right. So we have that, and we got the oil reservoir up there. So we got that. We just got a lot of stuff, guys. So just kind of plugging away, one project at a time, kind of busting them out, seeing where we can go. We got the, whatchamacallit there. We got to do a first start on all these bikes. So that one, we got to put that together and do a first start. We got to do the Harvey Spooner bike. We got to build this one for my wife. And that's the LB50. So we're going to be working on that as well. So let me get you guys in the stand. Let's go get crack-a-lackin'. Alright, so we're going to check out a few preliminary things. First, we're going to check the petcock. Make sure the petcock moves. Okay, it does. If your petcock is having a hard time moving, spray the outside of it, because this one right here was stuck. So I had to free it up. WD-40. Give it a quick blast there, and then work it slowly back and forth. And that should take care of that problem. Okay, so we got the petcock to move. Second most important thing we got to check is the air filter. Make sure there's no critters, no little mices. What's the plural for mice? Micesis? Something like that? Micesis? Moosesis? No, it's moose. Should be a mice. I don't know. You know what I mean. Okay, air filter looks good. By the way, guys, I am running, you can see that right there. The part number for my air filter is a UN2313. That is the air filter that I'm using. It looks pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about it. Nice and clean, like a lima bean. You and I. You can get that air filter right on eBay too, guys. eBay, Amazon, all those. Okay, air filter is done. Check. Petcock is free. Check. Open this up. If you guys watch my videos, you know what I'll be checking next. What should I be checking for, guys? Something extremely important. Show you. So for those of you new to the channel and you guys have these bikes, always check your vent tube. This clear plastic tube, make sure it's not plugged with any type of spider nest or dirt. It is very common for that to be right there, be filled with dirt. And when it does fill up with dirt, it is very dangerous because that right there can block it off, and then your oil pump will not be able to pump oil. So make sure it'll starve it. Got my registration and my battery holder. Charged up battery. Or as I like to call them, ESUs, electrical storage units, aka batteries. Put that in the way it fits. And then should be one negative. All the way in. Two positives. I'm positive about that, guys. But there's two positives. Registration and beside the battery. Check. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? Yes, I did. Gotta check your oil level. Very important. I have almost a full tank of oil. This thing sat, like I said, since last season. Has not been started since. So with that said, I'm going to want to put some fuel in it, and I'm going to see if it leaks out the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to grab the... If you guys get a chance to get these type of little filters, these are little filters for here. I'll show you. There you go. It's a little breather filter. And these things are nice because you can take the whole cap off. You don't have that silly tube that goes up to your handlebars. It's real nice. Look inside my tank. It is like brand newbie in there. And that's how you make a mess. But that's okay. That's what rags are for, right? Bike needs a tub. Alright. So, bike's got gas. Turn the fuel on. Put on reservoir. Alright, I'm not seeing anything leaking down bottom. Grab the keys. I think my battery might be cooked, guys. Yep, not worried about it. Don't need to run it. Looks like I'm going to be replacing a battery. Choke on, all the way up. Let me get you guys set back here. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire up. Right here. smoker! Alright, first start of 2020 right there. The beauty part of this whole bike is its CDI ignition. Its ability to just start. I love this bike. Proper maintenance and preparation when you put it away for the season makes for this type of starting, okay? Every year, this bike gets a complete drain down of its fuel. I mean, I even go as far as taking the carburetor bowl off and draining it out. Light compressed air, blow it out so it's nice and dry, and it gets put away dry. And then every season when I take it out, I make sure I do all my preliminary checks, okay? This is a preliminary starting check. Riding check is I'll be checking the spokes, which I'm going to be doing on a separate video, the chain tension and all that type of stuff. My forks, you name it. So that's how that is. Now the battery came back to life when I fired it up. I mean, it was charging fine and everything else. The battery on this is only used for the lights. It's not used for the ignition, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to be getting rid of the 6-volt battery in this bike and going to a capacitor. The difference is that the lights will not be on when I turn the key on until I fire up the bike, but the capacitor will carry all the lights. It's a little bit more better, I find, for the style bike. But that's going to be a second or another video on this. So let's get those mirrors put on this bike and get crack-a-lacking. Mirrors are a very big part of this bike. In any bike, especially an on-road bike. Every year I gotta make sure I take these off for storage, like I do on all my bikes. And the reason why I take them off is real simple, so they don't get ruined or broken. It's very important. I take these off every year on all my bikes. I put the one on the KM already, but I was going to do a video on starting that bike and I didn't do it. So. This bike gets registered year-round, so I'm able to ride it year-round. However, where we are, we get a lot of snow, so she gets put up for the winter months, and try to do dry storage on it. So she get a nice tub, wash it all off. We got to finish off the what do you call it there, the rack. Let me show you guys where I'm at with that. Okay, so on the rack, there was a couple brackets right here. These ones right here. There was two of them. I lobbed those off. I heated right here up with a torch, got it really, really hot, and bent that down and in a little bit to where I wanted it. This bracket right here is going to go up underneath, just like it's going to match the same spot as this here bracket. Okay, I got to drill that out to that size because that's going to be mounted up right there like so, and that's where the bracket's going to, that's where the rack is going to be sitting, but like that on the bike. So you have to have room between your seat and all that, and the bike, this rack is going to look really cool. Now, all the racks that I know of that I've ever had, okay, on bikes or anything, bolted up to the upper shock bolt. So what we're going to be doing is taking a piece of square stock, welding that in there, and it's going to have a plate coming off the back of it up to the shock, and it's going to bolt up to right there. Here's a rack right here that I have, a different style rack from a scooter, and you can see how it's sitting right here. These two bolts go in back of the shock itself. So we're not going to use those, but you guys get the idea how it's going to go. So it's going to go from the shock straight back to the whatchamacallit there, to the rack itself. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. And then of course we're going to have to paint the whole thing black to match the bike, and then go from there. So I figured I'd do a quick video, show you guys how that's going to go on the rack. So we sit right on the back. It's going to look pretty nice, I think. So once it's all done, once again, thank you, John. That is from a Trail Boss 100 or a KV 100. And we're going to modify that rack to fit that bike. So anyway, guys, short video, not really too, crazy, but I wanted to show you guys what I look for when I do these bikes. You can actually see my chain sagging. We're going to be putting a chain tensioner on this bike. It clamps onto the square stock arm and actually has a little wheel with a spring load we're going to be putting on this bike, and going from there. So that was the second thing I got to do, and I have on order for it right now, I have the grate like you saw in my KE102 videos. That's going to go right here, cover this over, and it's a guard. So those are the other options that we're going to be putting on this bike and going from there. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and hopefully you guys learned something for this. To all my new subscribers, welcome to the channel, and please, by all means, hit that subscription button. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you, guys. I'm out.